Richard, roll tide, man. How's everything gone with your travels and all the games you've seen over the last few weeks?
Roll Tide. It's basketball season, and that's no greater time for me. Love to be in the gym. It's been some good basketball action around the SEC on the men's and women's side, and I'm glad to be on the call.
Yeah, Alabama fans, we're certainly glad you were on the call this past week for Alabama against Clemson in the ACC SEC Challenge. What impressed you most about that victory? We'll start there with Alabama men.
Well, I thought Alabama looked extremely organized. I was extremely impressed with their ability to come down and play in a more poised type manner. They moved the ball around the perimeter very well, and they got a piece of the paint, which created outside shot efficiency. They started off on fire in that game from three-point line, which is promising. I love the fact that they played with that level of composure. I think when Alabama plays that way and don't necessarily buy into shooting ill-advised shots, as sometimes they can do, which can be effective when they're on fire. I think they're tough to beat. This backcourt that they have with LeBaron Philon, Aiden Holloway is playing really good basketball. Amari Allen is showing that he's a top-level freshman. But the most impressive thing that I saw from that Clemson game was Aiden Sherrill. The emergence of his play in the interior is going to be massive for Alabama, and he needs to be playing at a high level as they get ready to move into SEC play.
Yeah, 8 blocks for Aiden Sherrill in that ball game. He's also been showing that he can step out, hit an outside shot, or just protect the rim in general. Again, is this Alabama team going to go in a lot of ways as he goes? Because we kind of know what to expect a little bit from the backcourt.
I think you're spot on, Roger. I think just the fact that they need to make sure that they are at a strong level on the inside. I think they go deep as they possibly can go on the outside with the guard play. They can shoot it. They have multiple ball handlers and penetrators, guys who can create and play make for others. But it's going to be for Aiden Sherrill to take that sophomore leap to see what he can do with plays with his back to the basket, offensive rebounding. And of course, you mentioned the 8 block shots against Clemson. That was so impressive. His rim protection will be critical for Alabama, and hopefully the rest of the front line can get healthy and get back out there and give him some assistance.
We know LeBaron Philon Jr. can score, and obviously NBA teams knew he could score, but they were looking for some different things for him when considering him for the NBA draft. How do you see him in his sophomore season trying to work on all aspects of this game to get ready for the next level?
Well, I think he's done an outstanding job. Many times when you have such a talented team like Alabama had last year with Mark Sears, Chris Youngblood, Clifford Amore, Grant Nelson, when you have these really good players, you look at a freshman and you don't know what they can do when they are positioned to be in the star role. And LeBaron Philon, as a freshman, got a lot of looks from the NBA, ultimately decided to come back. And here he is showing his leadership skill as the number 1 option alongside Aiden Holloway to be able to deliver. Right now, he's playing with supreme level of confidence. He's a player that if you're guarding him one-on-one on the perimeter, then he feels like he's going to be able to win that matchup. He's playing a high-level basketball, and it's really impressive and fun to watch.
Really has been for Alabama again. Off to a good start. We saw the Crimson Tide challenge during the November schedule, and now here we are mid-December. There's another challenge looming, a number 1 team in Arizona. What do you expect coming up Saturday in Birmingham?
Well, this Arizona team definitely put the nation on notice when they opened up the season in a neutral site win over Florida. They got a top-level freshman in Koa Pete. He's about 6'8", 6'9", 250 pounds. He's agile. He can score on the block. He's a load on offensive rebounding, and he can even knock down an outside shot. So I think Alabama's woes have always been this season. It's about what can you do as far as interior play and protecting teams that have the ability to post you up and go inside. We've been able to see that Purdue was able to have some success against Alabama, Gonzaga as well. But I do think that this Alabama team and Nate Oates has his squad motivated. They're playing much better in that level of the game, and they'll have another challenge. And more than anything, a big opportunity for Alabama to pick up a significant win that will bolster their NCAA tournament resume to knock off the number 1 overall seed and top ranked team right now in Arizona.
We look forward to that coming up for the Crimson Tide in Birmingham, as Alabama is shown to be one of the better SEC squads to start the season. With some of the other games you've called in the SEC network and just learning more about the league, who stands out to you on this SEC when we talk about men's basketball in this league? Who are the standout teams to begin the year?
Well, I think the dark horse that many people might not be looking at that really has an outside chance to really win the SEC is Vanderbilt. Mark Byington has his team playing elite level basketball. They can play and beat you in many ways. They have a great guard play with Tyler Tanner, Tyler Nichols shooting the ball extremely well from the outside. And, they have a swagger about themselves. Now, Vanderbilt hasn't necessarily played the top teams in the country yet to be tested, but at an undefeated record, they're ranked in the top 25 and playing good basketball. Florida obviously has been challenging themselves playing against top level opponents all season long, and they've changed from the hunter into the hunted, which makes it very difficult. But their front line is probably the best in college basketball, but they have to shore up some things with their backcourt. The guard play is not what it is, but obviously, when you lose three guards to the NBA like they did last season, that's going to take some time to make an adjustment. And then, of course, with Kentucky, many people had this team be picked to be a national championship contender, but Big Blue Nation has been a little bit concerned about this squad. They've struggled out of the gates. They've dropped some big games against some marquee teams, but they're starting to get healthy again, and that's going to be important for them moving into SEC play. They're going to have to figure some things out. But more than anything, the SEC is in a big need, I think, of some signature wins in the non-conference. Last year, I think they really dominated the non-conference slate, which positioned 14 teams to be in the NCAA tournament. Right now, Alabama is the highest ranked team in the Southeastern Conference, and they're in a good position to have a good seeding. But the rest of the league is tough, but they have some work to do to improve their NCAA tournament resumes.
League play starts in less than a month. Can say the same for Crimson Tide women's basketball as Christy Curry has Alabama at a perfect 10-0. I know you've called some Alabama games already this season. You will be coming back to Coleman Coliseum to see them again soon. But what stands out to you about this team that Alabama has so far this year on the women's side?
Well, I think this is a unique team. I think when you have three girls drafted into the WNBA draft, and Sarah Ashley Barker and Aaliyah Nye and Zay Green, that's going to be very difficult to replace. But I think that this team can be a strong team if they continue to play together as a committee, and with you as a unit. Jessica Timmons has been playing big time basketball. She's been a threat from the outside. Her ability to break down her man and get into the paint and create for herself and others has been on a high level. She's shown that she's back from missing last season with the torn ACL. And Essence Cody is starting to reach her potential. Double doubles in a few outings this season and great rim protection on the inside. But this is an Alabama team that's going to have to continue to get it done collectively. I think with the leadership of Carly Weathers, they can be strong. She's been a solid player for her first 3 years at Alabama, and here she is in her senior campaign, making a lot of strides to lead this team. So we'll have to see how they'll do in SEC play, but I think they've got out of the gate pretty well and are playing good basketball as a unit.
We love seeing that for Alabama. Again, you'll be on the call next week for Alabama against Tulane coming up in women's basketball inside Coleman Coliseum. And then just after that, Richard, I can't let you go without asking you your football thoughts. We know you're a diehard Crimson Tide football fan. You excited about this group in the college football playoff trying to bounce back after the loss against Georgia?
Well, I think first off, I think they have done a tremendous job this season. I mean, to see their ability to bounce back after the first loss of the season, play a tough schedule and win so many games to position themselves to obviously in the regular season be the number one seed and be competing in the Southeastern Conference championship game, I think is huge. I think you have to give them credit that they have battled through a lot of injuries, and you can only hope that with the time off before they move into the next game to play in the first round against Oklahoma on the road, that they can get healthy. But I was excited to see that they were able to make the college football playoff, and I think they were a deserving team and obviously should have never even been considered to not be in it. But I think this staff has done a really good job, and hopefully they can regroup, get back to the way that they were playing in the midseason, and see if they can get a little bit of revenge in Norman against the Sooners.
Again, it's Hoops with Hendrix, but great to always have football talk from Richard as well. Richard, safe travels coming up for you. We look forward to seeing you back in Tuscaloosa. And again, thank you for your time with us on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Roll Tide.
Thank you. Roll Tide.